Hello everybody, this is Purge, and I'm going to be bringing you guys a very quick summary of Invoker here. He's one of my favorite heroes in the game. He is very interesting, probably one of the most interesting heroes in the game. If you guys aren't familiar with Dota 1, I'm going to go over this quick. I'm going to be doing WTF mode, and I'm going to be doing level up 25, and I'm going to be doing lots of gold, and it's going to be beautiful. I just want to get a boots of travel in case I want to go somewhere, and a blink there. So I did actually just screw around with him a little bit. The problem is that his hotkeys are slightly different, or at least hopefully they're going to fix them, I guess, but I might just try to get used to this new way and see how it works out. Alright, the way the Invoker works is he has 3 basic abilities and he has an ultimate. You can have up to 3 orbs on yourself at the same time. So here we go, going to use Quas, that is the hotkey Q. I have 3 orbs up, I can do Wex, I can do Extort, and they do different things. As you level these up, they give you stats. Quas gives you strength, Wex gives you agility, and Extort gives you intelligence. They also have bonuses when they're up and only when they're up. So when I have Quas up, I'm getting 7 times 3 regen per second up. Sorry, that was Tony. I forgot to get off then. So 7 times 3 regen per second on Quas. Or if I only have 1 Quas up, I'm getting 7 regen per second, something like that. The way Wex works is it gives you attack speed and movement speed. So as you can see, if I run in a circle, I am really fast. And then if I turn to Quas, I'm running slower. Or I can even check this. There you go. Okay, now you can visibly see my movement speed adjusting and my attack speed increasing. So, pretty cool stuff. And Extort, finally, it gives you damage. That's it. Pretty easy stuff. So, now the way Invoker works is depending on which combination of these 3 orbs that you have up, it makes a new skill. So, he actually has more skills than I'm pretty sure everybody else in the game. But depending on the combination of these things, then you will do some awesome stuff. So the reason I'm in WTF mode is because you can cast endlessly, and it's really awesome. I saw Dendy do this. I'm going to give a link in the description box below, guys. Go check that out. Once again, of course, I'm nowhere near as good as Dendy, but this is where I got the idea. So anyways, to create spells, you have your orbs up, and you press the skill, the Invoke. You get it at level 2, usually, and you pick that up, and all of a sudden, bam, I picked up Cold Snap. That's what I made. 3 Quasses, and you make Cold Snap. Here's the list. So these are all the spells that you have. This is a new Invoke list. Cold Snap, Ghost Walk, Ice Wall, EMP, Tornado, Alacrity, Sunstrike, Forge Spirit, Chaos Meteor, and Deafening Blast. Now the important thing to remember is none of these abilities are they're not like a single target bench stun, because that would be a little too easy to have that much variety. They're all very good skills, but they all have very specific uses, pretty much. So I can go over those on some neutral creeps in a second, but just be aware, these are all the spells that you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 of each. So when things get really fun, you can actually cast up to 2 or have 2 spells queued up as a time. So I could cast both of these spells right now. If I want to get a new spell, I have to change my orbs and re-invoke it, and then I get a new one. I picked up Tornado here, and my Cold Snap is now gone. The issue with the hotkeys at the moment is in Dota 1, every single one of these abilities right here would have its own attack, or have its own hotkey. So if I popped in some command, which is basically what you're doing. Let's say I was like, I want to do Ghost Walk, QQW. I would do QQW. Oops, yeah, QQW R. That gets Ghost Walk, and then the hotkey for Ghost Walk was V, and then I'd press V and go invisible. But now the first ability is going to be sit on D, which I tried around for like 5 minutes here, and it's not too bad getting used to it. So now I just have to be like, let's do a different one. I'm going to go QWER D. And now I can cast that spell. So now I just have to program my brain to say, every time I invoke a new spell, I have to always do D for the hotkey. The only weird thing that's weird is, let's say I'm confused, or I'm in the middle of a team fight, I'm like, oh god, I need to use Ice Walk right now, or I need to use Ghost Walk right now. I would go QQWR, and that's like invoke, but it doesn't get moved to D. It stays at F because it was the second to last spell that I invoked. So that's one issue. So then I might be like, D, it's not doing anything. It's not doing anything. And then I'm like, oh, it's F. And then I would be frustrated and possibly die. So, I don't know. We'll see if I can get used to that or not. Anyways, I'm going to go to the jungle. I'm going to show you guys all the abilities. Once again, I pick up the blink dagger and I send WTF mode so I don't waste too much time here. Alright, first off the bat, 3 Quas. This is Cold Snap. The way it does is it puts a buff on them, it mini stuns them, and every time they take damage, they do get stunned. So this is really good for focusing down carries and things like that. Any source of damage will trigger this, and the amount of damage that it does increases, as well as the duration, or the cooldown. I'm sorry, the freeze cooldown goes down. So basically, there's only so fast you can attack. If you're getting attacked by a million things, you can only get frozen every 0.6 seconds at the max level here, and the duration for how long that buff lasts is going to depend on what level your Quas is at. So this is basically how the abilities scale. So if I only have 1 level into Quas, my Cold Snap is not nearly as good as it is late game. So that's kind of how Invoker ends up changing as the game goes on. We'll do 3 W's. Is going to be EMP. So if we look at the EMP totals, or the magic totals. Alright, this guy's got 100 mana, or 500 mana. Here's an EMP. Alright, and this guy took magic damage, as you can see, and did damage to him as well. So it's half of the damage that it burns, so it wouldn't be OP, and it drains up to 400 mana burned. It has a long time to charge. As you see, the charge time goes down, so that means it's harder to land this on enemies. But we'll talk about how to use that in a second. Alright, this ability is really cool. It's called Sunstrike, 3 Extort. This is actually a global ability, so I can use this anywhere I want, and this is what it does. It does nuke damage, so it does up to 475 damage, yes indeed. If I use it on one creature, it does all the damage to that one unit. If I use it on multiple units, so if I do something like this, that's not a good example, they dodged me. There we go, it spreads out, so this is basically a sniper shot, and of course I'm playing WTF mode, so I can cast this as many times as I want. The images don't overlap very well, but that's okay, because you're never going to encounter that in a regular game. But it looks awesome. Anyways, that spell, I thought that spell looked absolutely amazing. So this is global. Your enemies can't see this like thing flying from the sky. They absolutely do not see this little line. They only see it when it explodes, and at which point they're like, oh god, Invoker tried to kill me. So that's all the 3 basic spells. Those are the easiest ones to learn. Some other really, really good ones. I guess I'm just going to go down the line. I'll do Ghost Walk next. This makes you invisible. QQW, and then I press R, and then I go invisible, and what this does is it applies a slow. So if I look at the centaur here, he does, you can't see it, but he has a movement speed slow, as well as I don't know if it does do attack speed, I don't believe it does. And at low levels, depending on your Wex, it makes you run slower, but since my Wex is maxed out, it doesn't actually slow me down. So that's what scales for this ability. And what is the next one? We're going to be doing Ice Wall, QQER. Ice Wall here. It looks a lot less overwhelming than it did in Dota 1, but basically if somebody tries to walk through it, so watch that. Attack this centaur, they're going to run through, they're going to get drastically slowed, and they will take damage while they're in the ice wall. So this one's kind of hard to use because it's always oriented based on where you're looking. So if I'm, if I want to get a good ice wall off, I have to like position my hero and make sure that I don't turn to attack an enemy or something like that. So if I want to hit the centaur with just the corner of it, I can do that, but it's not easy to do. So see, as you can see, so that is ice wall. The slow scales, the damage, and the duration all scale. So insipid. Tornado is the next spell. This is one of my favorite abilities. It's kind of like a cyclone staff. It's going to throw them up in the air, and then when they land, they take damage. The damage is based on how much Wex and Quas you have into it, and the lift time is also based on Wex, I'm assuming, no, Quas. Distance also is a big deal. The distance that it goes is it goes up to 3,200, so really, really good ability. Like I can nail this creep over here. Watch, and this does give me vision. Now those are mud golems, of course, but yeah, look how far that went. Like seriously, that is a really long spell. If you use this for ganks or something, you could be like, oh, I'm gonna gank bottom, and I want them to be out of position, so I'm gonna blink closer, and then send the tornado, and maybe he's running away, and I disable him for 2.5 seconds. It's really good. It's like a kind of a bread and butter nuke that Invoker has. It's not super effective, but it can be used very well. Alacrity, oops, WWER, and Alacrity. Now this gives you a buff. So if you look at my damage and my attack speed right now, I'm going to apply this to me. Increases my attack speed a lot and does damage. So if you want to see something funny, you can do this. Say, go catapult! Go catapult! Catapult, go! Or I can do it to the range creeps and they end up just slaying face. Once again, this is WTF mode, so there's no cooldowns on my abilities. Be aware that every single spell I've casted so far, all of these spells do have cooldowns of their own. So it's not like I can just, cast Alacrity on my entire creep wave or something. It doesn't work like that, so it only works like that in WTF mode. Same thing for Cold Snap. I can't just Cold Snap the crap out of everything in a creep wave. So, alright, I'm gonna back up from this. Let them push. Next ability after Alacrity. Once again, Alacrity is damage and attack speed, depending on what your Quas and Wex are. We have Sunstrike, which I showed you. Forged Spirit is another one. EEQR, and this summons 2 spirits. If both your Quas and your Extort are over level 4, you get 2 Forged Spirits. If not, they basically are just a creep that has HP and range, and what they do is they attack creeps, and they lower, or heroes, and they lower their armor. Which apparently is not working right now. So yeah, I don't see his armor going down. Their abilities must not be working correctly yet, but I'm sure they'll fix that someday soon. So that's Forge Spirits. They are good. I can talk about combos in a second. I keep wanting to talk about combos. Alright, Chaos Meteor is one ability that is really, really cool. It shoots a rock down and then it rolls, and this is doing a lot of damage over time, like 200 damage per second. No, I'm sorry, 145 per second. There's some burn DPS as well, so but you can use this to clear creep waves really well. And do damage to heroes that aren't moving. It's kind of like Jakiro's ulti in a lot of ways. And if you want to be awesome, you can just be like, woo! Isn't this game beautiful? Isn't this game just... Anyway, so that's based on the direction that you aim it. You can just click this on the ground, and you know that's the only way to send it going places. You can't just do that once. Distance is based on levels, damage is based on levels, which one of these that you skill. Alright, I think that's it. Deafening Blast is the first skill that I showed you. This is actually a pretty cool ability. It's probably one of the most straightforward disables that you have. It pushes them back. This is technically a stun, and immediately after it ending, this is them not being able to attack. So they can't actually attack for like 4 seconds. This is very good against a late game carry like an anti-mage or something. Even if he Manta splits, because I can just be like, oh shit, it's an anti-mage. Deafening Blast, he gets knocked back, which is a 1.75 stun, and then can't attack for 4 seconds, which is a big deal. So that's all the abilities. So what basically happens, if you're playing Invoker correctly, you want to work on how your abilities interact with one another. So my favorite item or skill build to go with Invoker is to level up Wex and Quas very heavily in the early game. So I'm going to show you the main combo that is good with that. It is EMP Tornado. So here's the EMP. Here's the Tornado. That's going to send people up in the air, which is going to disable them while the EMP goes off. And as you see, the EMP did go off on this Ursa Warrior, which means that EMP applies while they're up in the air. So, and when a team fight's starting in the middle game, or the early to mid game, what you basically do is say, oh god, a team fight's about to happen. And you go like this. You shoot the Tornado through the group. Almost there, at least 3 of their allies are going to get nailed by an EMP, which is a lot of mana loss. And on strength heroes, like Sand King, losing that mana is a big deal, because the early game you don't have a lot of mana. So this is my favorite combo, the EMP Tornado. If you're playing a new build, or if you're playing Invoker, you're trying to be a noob item, EMP Tornado is a really, really easy way to go with. That's my favorite one. That's the easiest one in my opinion. You can also do an Extort Quas build, and with that you end up doing Forge Spirits and Cold Snap. So I'm going to bring these with me, and here's my Cold Snap. So I'm going to attack a guy, and I'm going to put Cold Snap on him. And all of a sudden, I have more than just me hitting him to set off the mini stun. And also remember, these are supposed to lower armor every time that they attack. They're supposed to lower armor. They don't currently do that, but they are supposed to. So, and look at the range of them. They're actually quite good for tanking. And once again, in the early game, you don't get a lot of them, but at some point, you do actually. It looks like they need to even add their animation. It must have been they rushed the Forge Spirits through a little bit here. So I'm going to switch to Extort just so I can hit a little harder on this guy. I wonder if those change based on this is attack animation. Looks like the fireball is about the same either way. I didn't know if his projectile was going to be different based on which ability he had. So okay, so that's another good build. Forge Spirits with Cold Snap is very good at killing single heroes. Another one is going to be Chaos Meteor with Cold Snap is another good one. So let's show that example. Let me go find some neutral creeps. Alright, so here is some neutral creeps, and I'm going to do this. So, and since the Chaos Meteor is going to be doing damage over time, look at this, it's triggered constantly on him. So that's a lot of single target damage I just did. Look how much damage I just did, about 800 damage to this guy, which is quite a bit if he stands in it. And I can do the same thing over and over again. Cold Snaps. So yeah, it's a lot of damage. Very cool build. But primarily what ends up happening in the late game, and as an Invoker, what you want to build is an Aghanim Scepter. It's not going to do anything for me in this game, but what it does is it decreases the cooldown and it removes the mana cost for Invoke. It does cost mana, as you can see, up to 80 at level 4, but once I get it, it burns the mana, or the cooldown, down to like very, very manageable levels, like less than 10 seconds. In the early game, you're talking about 22 seconds, 17 seconds, 12 seconds. Once you get to level 4 Invoke, you're sitting pretty good. But if you can get an Aghanim Scepter early in the game, it makes a big deal. And then you can do stuff like this. So let's say, for example, I am in a team fight, and I'm good at Invoker. This is the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to say, okay, EMP Tornado. And then I want to switch again. And then I want to say, okay, as they land down, I want Chaos Meteor to hit them. And all of a sudden you cast 3 spells in a team fight, where a noob Invoker would only have casted 1. and that makes a big difference. So another cool one you can do is Chaos Meteor with a Deafening Blast. No, I'm sorry, I want to do Chaos Meteor with a Tornado. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do, oops, Chaos Meteor, Tornado. Okay, so I'm going to say Tornado, this, and then as they land, I push them with the Deafening Blast, which pushes them in the direction of the Chaos Meteor, and then they're disabled, so then they take a lot of damage. I can show that on creep waves too. So I want Chaos Meteor in Tornado, and it didn't work again because that's the problem. I just messed it up again. See what happened? I tried to cast. I tried to channel Chaos Meteor, and I already had it, so it didn't go. And then all of a sudden, I don't have the 2 spells that I thought I did, which is how it is in Dota. It rewrites the previous. So, if, for example, if I did Tornado right now, it's supposed to rewrite it, but it's not actually changing. It wastes my mana, but it doesn't switch the order, so all of a sudden I assume that Tornado's on D, but it's not. So that's going to be frustrating. Anyways, so Chaos Meteor, I already have that. Let's just change it to other stuff, just so that it works out the way I want it to. Alright, so I'm going to get Chaos Meteor, I'm going to get Tornado. And once again, I'm going to be like, Tornado, Chaos Meteor, Deafening Blast, and bam. All of a sudden pushes them back. The ball comes, and everything gets beautiful. So I can do this on Roshan as well, which is a little bit of fun. I actually want to kill him with Sunstrike real quick, but alright, so I already have, I want Tornado, and alright, so that's not actually going to do anything to him, but I can do this, and then do this, and then do a Cold Snap, which doesn't work, but that's okay, and I can do a Ice Wall, and I can do a Forge Spirits, which is cool, and I can do a Alacrity on one of them, and that's already great, and I can do a Sunstrike. So as you can see, if you get really good at Invoker, all of a sudden you just know these spells by heart, and you can do a lot of fun things with them. You can just be like, oh, I can cast a ton of spells at the same time? Awesome. I'm going to do that. I'm going to cast them like nobody's business. And that's where Invoker gets really, really powerful. Alright, screwing around. Oh, it's not doing damage to Roshan. Makes me really sad. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm going to screw around a little bit in the jungle before I close this out. That's Invoker, guys. I won't go over item and skill builds, but that's basically how you play him. It takes a lot of practice, and this is honestly the best way to learn. Go into WTF mode just like I did. Type WTF, enable cheats before you go into this game mode, and literally screw around in the jungle casting spells on Ursa. I mean, I played Invoker for a long time, and maybe not a shitload, but I played him a decent amount, to the point where I was enjoying the hero a lot because I was getting good at casting. And then I saw the video with Dendi, and I was like, oh my god, this is how you get good at Invoker. You go into WTF mode and you say, how fast can I cast spells? And you say, okay, I want to do a Deafening Blast, I want to do a Tornado. Okay, my first spell was wrong. I'm going to do Tornado, I'm going to do a Deafening Blast, I'm going to do a Chaos Meteor, I'm going to do an Ice Wall, I'm going to go Invisible. You know, all this stuff. That one was a mistake, but there we go. So, just practicing that kind of stuff makes a big difference. Deafening Blast, Tornado, Chaos Meteor. I want to do a... yeah, that's what I want. There we go. And then Alacrity on that. And I try to do a Sunstrike, but... And now I'm just getting mentally overwhelmed. It's really hard to talk and do it at the same time, let me tell you. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna blame that for my mistakes. Let me try doing this over again. I'm not gonna think while I'm not gonna use my speech brain while I try to do this. Okay, so I'm gonna screw around for like 10 seconds. No, more like 2 minutes. 1 or 2 minutes of no commentary, and hopefully you guys enjoy. And then I'm gonna close out the video. So enjoy this, guys. Go check out Invoker. I promise you I'll be playing this here a lot in the future. So here we go. And my buttons are not working. I mean, my brain is not working a little bit. Perhaps this is my fault. This magic augury of infelicity, claws of weakness, color on in words and power. Forthwith. One of Tarak's Wax Tuber, Wax Quas Wax. Spherical squawks, chaos, meat, harsh white waste, bacon, kill of Corix, Quas Frigoris, Wax Exhort. I am committed. With a true tornado, a
spell I will. Duster's mandate of impetuous strife.
I'm not very good at using my pinky for cues, apparently. Maybe I should use my other fingers, but yeah, I should. No, I'm not used to that, apparently. Apparently I've been using my pinky for my cues, which is kind of weird. You would think I would do it like Guitar Hero, which is I would slide my pointer finger and cover 2 buttons of that. So maybe I have to get used to that. Yeah, I'm gonna get... Ah, God, then I have to like relearn everything. This is scary to think about, is trying to redo this, because now I'm used to the hotkeys being where they are. I keep pressing T for Sunstrike. It's hard to get away from the habits. It's like, man, those really don't attack very well. Cast my spells, damn it.
Words of power.
What is WWQ? That is Tornado.
My foes are oft.
And I think I covered pretty much everything. Oh God! PvP is really cool. I love the art they did for this hero. They did a really good job, I must say. So, yeah, awesome job, Valve. If you guys are watching this. And sometimes you can do fun stuff like
thus and so.
Heal.
Over yon.
So yeah, if you didn't know this, guys, you can actually dodge shots with Blink Dagger. It breaks the path, and I'm lagging a little bit. That's okay.
I go. Arcana, known only to an incantation, a celestial, one sackwas, cross witness true. The skies set you aflame. Okay.
Alright, cool. I think I've justified myself. If you guys want to see Dendy do this better than me, go check the drop-down box below, and you can see him doing it at Dota 1 at a LAN center. The camera isn't as good as this would be, so you can't necessarily see everything that's going on, but I hope you guys enjoy it. Go try out Invoker. He's one of my favorite heroes. He's one of the best heroes in the game. Definitely top 10 or 15 for sure. He does still see play in Dota 1 and stuff, and I plan to play him a lot in Dota 2, so thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you later. Bye.